I threw my dad a surprise 65th birthday party, $5,000 on catering, band, and a cake with his face on it. He grabbed the mic and barked, "She deserves respect, not you." My cousin smirked. "One day, you'll thank us for being honest." That night, I canceled the $27,000 I had paid for Laura's tuition and left a box that played a message. "I just want to say it," my dad growled, gripping the mic like it was a courtroom confession, not a birthday toast. "She deserves respect, not you." The room went dead quiet. Everyone turned to stare at me, champagne glasses frozen midair, like someone had hit pause on a scene that wasn't supposed to end this way. The she he was pointing to? My cousin Laura. Laura, who hadn't worked a day in her life, who called me last month crying about her tuition, who I quietly wired $27,000 to cover her final year at university. I hadn't told anyone, not because I was ashamed, but because I didn't need a medal for doing what family's supposed to do. Except apparently, that family didn't include me. I stood by the rented dance floor, next to the band I'd hired, next to the cake with my dad's smug face printed in edible ink. I'd spent over $5,000 on this surprise 65th birthday party, catering, music, the works. Even made sure the venue was wheelchair accessible so Aunt Diane could come. Every detail, every email thread, every invoice, it was all me. And still, here he was, throwing me under the bus. Again. From the back of the room, I heard a sharp little laugh. My cousin grinned, raised her glass, and said, "One day, you'll thank us for being honest." Honest? Honest would have been telling me they hated me before I maxed out my credit card for this family. I didn't say a word, just smiled, just like they taught me. Make it look nice. Don't make a scene. But that night, when the party was over, when the lights were off and the dance floor was empty, I went home, logged into my bank account, and canceled the $27,000 payment I just made for Laura's tuition. Then I left a little box outside her apartment. Inside the box was a speaker. When she opened it, it played a single audio file on loop. "This was your idea, Laura, not mine. You said it yourself. He's stupid enough to pay for it if we act like we care. Congrats. You were right." Her voice. Her words. Recorded 3 weeks ago on a call she forgot was synced to my smart assistant. The surprise party was the last gift I gave my family. Now they were about to find out what it feels like to lose me on purpose. I wish I could say that was the first time they humiliated me. I wish I could say the party was some weird outlier, a bad moment in an otherwise okay relationship. But that would be a lie. The truth is, I've been training them for years to treat me this way. Every favor I gave, every bill I paid, every last-minute rescue, it taught them that I was a resource, not a person. My name's Ryan. I'm 28, work in digital marketing, live alone in Austin, Texas. I make decent money. Not rich, but comfortable. And maybe that was the problem. They knew I wouldn't say no. Especially not to her. Laura and I used to be close. Or I thought we were. Growing up, we were the weird pair of cousins always building stuff, pillow forts, fake spy clubs, coded notes. After her mom died, she moved in with my family for a while. I was 12. She was 9. And everything shifted. My parents treated her like a glass doll. My dad would say, "She's been through a lot," as if that excused every tantrum, every guilt trip, every lie. Laura learned early that tears got results. That silence could be a weapon. I learned something too, that love came with conditions. After college, I moved away. Thought distance might fix things. But of course, distance doesn't matter when you're still on the family group chat. At first, it was little things. "Hey, can you cover Laura's books this semester? She's short. Laura's laptop broke. Could you spot her? She's in finals week. She wants to study abroad. Her scholarship doesn't cover flights." And I did it. Every time. No questions asked. My dad used to joke, "You're a good investor. She's our future doctor. She's studying psychology." Then came the bigger stuff. Her rent. Her credit card bill. Her therapy dog's vet surgery. Always a story. Always a plea. And always followed by radio silence once the money cleared. Still, I kept helping. I thought maybe if I gave enough, loved hard enough, they'd see me. Not as the ATM son. Not as the cousin with a good job. Just me. That's why the party mattered. It was supposed to be a reset, a reminder that I chose them, that I wanted to show up. I booked the best place I could afford, hired a soul band my dad used to blast on vinyl. The cake had this goofy picture of him on it from the 80s, mullet and all. I even paid extra to rush the fondant. I spent 6 weeks planning it while juggling work and a freelance side gig. And the moment he grabbed the mic and said what he said, all of that shattered. But I didn't scream, didn't storm out. I smiled, raised my glass, and toasted to family. Then I left early, told the caterers I had a migraine. I lied. I went straight to my apartment and started digging. See, my cousin forgot something. We once shared a Google Drive folder for a short film project back in college. She never deleted it. It was still linked to her main Gmail. And guess what? Her Google Voice backups were linked too. Within 10 minutes, I had her audio logs. The one I used in the box? That wasn't even the worst. She had messages like, "Ryan's so pathetic. He thinks paying my tuition makes him a hero. Let him feel important. He'll pay again. Just say it's for emotional support or whatever. He loves playing savior." And texts with my aunt, her mom's sister, who once told me I was such a blessing, laughing about how easy I was to manipulate. That same night, I went to pull the transaction for the $27,000. It was still pending. Canceled it. Then I reported the payment as fraud and locked down every shared card, every connected account. 2 days later, my mom called me from her hospital's break room. She's a nurse. Works the night shift. She sounded tired, but concerned. "Ryan, did you cancel Laura's tuition?" I paused. "Yeah." Silence. "She's devastated." I laughed. "No, she's exposed." Then came the real storm. My phone blew up, voicemails from uncles, texts from my dad in all caps. One of them said, "You're tearing this family apart over your ego." And then Facebook. Laura posted a photo of herself crying on a park bench with a caption, "It hurts the most when the knife comes from someone you trusted." It got 143 likes and a dozen, "You deserve better" comments. She was turning me into the villain. I didn't respond. I went darker. I made copies of everything: audio, screenshots, transcripts, and created a folder. Named it "Before They Rewrite History." Then I sent it to one person, my dad's older brother, Uncle Pete. He lives in Nebraska, barely talks to anyone, but he used to be the only person in the family who called me for my birthday. He replied within an hour, "I always knew they were using you. You want me to make a call?" I said no. Not yet. I wanted them to feel it first. The next morning, I got a text from my dad. "Call me. Now. Don't make this worse." I ignored it. That afternoon, I posted a photo on Instagram. Just me, smiling, standing in front of a giant whiteboard with one sentence written across it. "I was never part of your plan, just your emergency fund." No hashtags. No context. It got shared 800 times. Laura deleted her crying post that night. But it wasn't over, because they hadn't seen what I left in her mailbox. It was a second box, and inside it was a hard drive, labeled, "The evidence you forgot I had." I waited 1 week. 1 week of silence from me. 1 week of chaos from them. My dad called 4 times a day. Laura tried to email me pretending to be calm and open to healing. My aunt posted a long, performative Facebook message about how forgiveness is a sign of maturity. And then came the group chat. My phone lit up. Family core. A new chat. My name added. The first message? "We're having a dinner next Saturday. Dad wants to apologize in person." I stared at it. A dinner. At their house, where I used to sleep on a couch after helping them move, or paint the walls, or fix the leaky roof, all unpaid, all unthanked. I typed one word. Sure, but I wasn't coming alone. Saturday night. I arrived late on purpose. Laura opened the door. Pale, quiet, in sweatpants instead of her usual Instagram-ready look. She gave me this trembling smile and stepped aside. I walked in holding a small black duffel bag. The house looked the same, but something in the air was different. Heavy, tense. My dad sat at the head of the table, still in his usual polo shirt like it was Sunday brunch. My mom stood in the kitchen pretending to stir something that wasn't even cooking. "Glad you came," Dad said stiffly. "We wanted to clarify things." "Of course," I said. "That's why I brought something." I unzipped the bag and pulled out a portable speaker. I set it in the middle of the table, then pulled out a folder. Thick, labeled in red Sharpie. Lies. With footnotes. Laura stiffened. "Ryan, what is that?" my mom asked, her voice cracking. "A family scrapbook," I said. "The parts you tried to delete." I clicked play, and there it was, Laura's voice. "He's pathetic. He'll pay if I cry. Let him feel useful." My father blinked. My mother's hand went in her mouth. "But Laura?" She snapped. "That's taken out of context." I didn't even look at her. I pulled out the printed transcript. Then the text screenshots. Then the transaction logs she sent to friends bragging about the easy cousin money. One where she wrote, "Told him I was having a breakdown. He paid for my semester in under 10 minutes. LOL. Then came the photos. My photos. Screenshots from my Gmail showing forwarded confirmation emails, tuition payments, textbook orders, all under my name. And the final touch, a screenshot from her shared Google Drive folder, a folder titled Backup Dirt. A collection of fake arguments she'd scripted, just in case I ever tried to flip the narrative. I turned to my dad. "You said she deserves respect," I said. "You still think that?" His jaw clenched. He didn't answer. But someone else did. "Not anymore," said a voice behind me. Everyone turned. It was Pete. Uncle Pete. He stepped into the living room like he'd been waiting his whole life to do this. "I wasn't sure I'd come," he said, tossing a manila envelope on the table. "But after what you told me, I checked the records." "What records?" Dad growled. Pete smiled. "Like how you used Ryan's social security number to co-sign a loan back in 2021. Or how you applied for emergency COVID business relief under his name. Or how you listed him as an employee of a company that doesn't exist." My father stood up. "You don't know what you're talking about." Pete didn't flinch. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a letter. "This is from the Department of Labor," he said. "They've opened an inquiry. You should probably call them Monday." Silence. Total, choking silence. My mom sat down slowly, whispering, "Oh my God," under her breath. Laura backed against the wall like a trapped animal. That's when I spoke again. "I used to think I was just too sensitive," I said. "That if I gave enough, they'd love me back. But you don't love me. You love what I do for you." Then I turned to Laura. "And you? You're not broken. You're calculated. But now you're broke. Because your tuition's unpaid, and I just forwarded your emails to your school's ethics board. Enjoy explaining this to the scholarship committee." She tried to scream something, but I cut her off. "You know what the worst part is?" I said, walking toward the door. "I thought this night would make me feel sad. It doesn't." I looked around at all of them, frozen, humiliated, exposed. I feel free. Then I dropped one last envelope on the coffee table. A tiny, neatly folded paper inside. A screenshot of the email I sent withdrawing co-sponsorship of their mortgage. They had 60 days. Good luck. They thought I would disappear. That after that dinner, I'd cool off, scroll through old family photos, remember the good times, and do what I always did, crawl back, say sorry for making them uncomfortable, and hand over more of myself. But I didn't disappear. I just disappeared from their lives. That week, I quietly left the family group chat. No message. No drama. Just tapped, leave. They added me back. I left again. Then Laura texted me directly. "Enough of this. You made your point. Can we talk?" I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my banking app and shut down every active payment. Mom's monthly transfer? Gone. $900 every month, supposedly for medications, which I now knew went towards spa treatments and luxury towels that weren't soft enough. Their internet bill? Canceled. My name was on the account. No more. Laura's car insurance? Discontinued. Her cell phone line? Disconnected. She must have gotten the message when her phone stopped working. I imagined her standing in line at a cafe, trying to tap Apple Pay, and nothing happened. For the first time in her life, she got a taste of financial silence. 2 days later, my mother texted, "I don't even know who you are anymore." I stared at those words and thought, did you ever know? Then came the real twist. I got a call from the fraud division at my bank. Not customer service, the actual fraud division. Turns out, my dad had tried to use my social security number again. This time to apply for a new line of credit. The application claimed it was for roof repairs. The same repairs I paid for 2 years ago. They asked if I authorized it. No, I said. That's identity theft. They froze his accounts. All of them. Anything linked to that request was put under investigation. His pension account? Blocked. His personal credit line? Flagged for misuse. That night, my father sent me this gem of a message. "You're destroying me." Over what? A stupid speech at a party? No, Dad. Not just that. I was done being your walking debit card. Done being the background character in your story, applauding from the wings while you tore me down. Then came the funniest part. My cousin Nick, yeah, that Nick, the one who toasted Laura with a smirk and told me, "One day you'll thank us for being honest." He texted me, "Hey man, crazy week. No hard feelings, right? We're still family." I didn't answer. I just forwarded him an audio clip, one I had pulled from Laura's Drive folder. His voice. Ryan's a walking ATM. You just push the guilt button and boom, tuition, rent, new phone. Fool doesn't even check if you're lying. He heard it. I know he did. 5 minutes later, he replied, "Please delete that. Please." I didn't even open the message. I didn't need revenge. I wanted truth to sit in their inboxes like hot coals. A few days later, my mom tried to accidentally bump into me at my usual coffee spot. She walked in, saw me sitting there with my laptop, and said, "Ryan." I looked up and said calmly, "Sorry, these seats are taken." She didn't order anything. She just turned and walked out. But the real fallout? That came from Laura's university. They called me. Apparently, her funding had been revoked. Her degree was on hold until she paid the outstanding balance in full. They still had my contact listed as the emergency payer. "Would you like to settle this on her behalf?" the administrator asked. I laughed. "No, but I'm very glad you called." That evening, my mom left a voicemail. I listened to it while making coffee. Her voice was shaky, theatrical. "We know we made mistakes, but you're not really going to just abandon us, right? We're your..." I hit pause before she could say the last word. I already knew what it was. Parents. No, you were never parents. You were leeches. You were debt collectors wrapped in family branding. And this time, the debt was due. So I printed the final bill I still had active, their utility account. I paid off the current cycle. Just once. One last time. Then I logged in and shut down the autopay. On the payment confirmation, I left a memo. One that would show up on their billing notice. Final payment. Not family. Just closure. I didn't change my number. Not because I wanted to hear from them, but because I wanted to watch them burn the last bridges themselves. For weeks, they tried everything: guilt, rage, threats, then pity. My mom sent me a blurry photo of my childhood drawing once with the caption, "You used to love us." I stared at it for 5 seconds before deleting it. Love isn't unconditional when the conditions are lies. My dad, though, he couldn't handle the silence. He started telling people I had a mental episode, called my workplace pretending to be my concerned father, asked about my behavior. HR called me in. I showed them screenshots, emails, voicemails. They filed a formal complaint against him. He got desperate. He used a new number and a fake name. I knew it was him from the grammar. He always misused your and overused ellipses. "You've made your point. Come fix this before it's too late." Too late for what? I wasn't the one spiraling. Then came the final straw. A letter arrived. Not an apology. Not a confession. A legal threat. On some boilerplate legal template, accusing me of emotional distress caused to the family unit, threatening court action unless I cease public defamation. My dad signed it. He thought he could sue me back into silence. I didn't even call my lawyer. I got in the car, drove 2 hours, to a rural post office where no one knew my name, and I filed something I'd been holding off on for years. A private LLC. Something I'd planned when I first suspected how far they'd go. The name? Not Your Blood, LLC. I routed everything through it: tax returns, property insurance, even my emergency contacts. I removed every last trace of myself from their documents, addresses, and phone plans. I had erased the final connection. Then, I did one last thing. I drove back to the house. Not to confront them. Not to scream. Just to watch the wreckage from across the street, inside a silent car. Lights off, except in the kitchen. I could see shadows moving. My mom pacing. My dad hunched over the table. Probably bills. Probably warnings. Probably silence from every side. They used to say they were proud of me. Used my name in every Christmas letter. Told friends, "He takes care of us. He's such a blessing." But I wasn't a son to them. I was leverage. So I left a parting gift. I crossed the street. Taped a small red sign to their front door. Laminated. Permanent unless removed with intent. It read, "Closed account. No longer in service. No more explanations. No more rescues. No more Ryan." Then I got in the car and left. They haven't contacted me since. Maybe they finally understood. Maybe they think I'll come back when I calm down. But they don't get it. This isn't anger. This is freedom. I don't wake up checking my phone in panic. I don't feel sick walking past a birthday card aisle. I don't carry guilt for people who turn me into a tool with a pulse. No, I sleep through the night. My bank account stays untouched. My peace isn't conditional. The other day, I walked past a bakery near my apartment. They had a sign in the window, small, clean, brutal. We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone who treats kindness like currency. I laughed. Then I walked in, looked the cashier in the eye, and said, "Black coffee, double shot, and a receipt, please. Because I keep them now. All of them."